Hello, everyone. It is October. That means that we've got a fresh Patch Tuesday to review. However, Andy is away at MITRE AttackCon presenting on the practical application of MITRE ATT&CK, tactical CTI to enable security operations. So really looking forward to seeing what Andy is able to do with his presentation at MITRE AttackCon, which is super exciting. But today, that means that instead of doing a deeper dive on a few of the vulnerabilities, I thought it might be a fun experiment to go through and actually just review what is available in the Patch Tuesday report that is free and Feedly for anyone to use. And kind of starting at the high level here, we can actually go to feedly.com/CVE, and there's quite a few features here that you can also find value from. Number one, you can search for any CVE ID here in the list. You can also look at some trending vulnerabilities, including a little bit of information such as the vendor, some CVSS information, if there's an exploit available, and also some trend lines here for some that are really kind of taking off. I can see that there's the latest Patch Tuesday reports mentioned here in the middle. And then at the bottom, I can also browse on vulnerabilities based on their severity, vendors, or individual CWE information. So like for example, I could go to look at Oracle vulnerabilities and see a full list of those vulnerabilities here as well. But the main thing that we're interested in today is reviewing the October Patch Tuesday report. So as you can see, some information that we're going to look at here across the top. Number of total vulnerabilities here is 175. I can see which of these are currently critical and also which of these are currently exploited. And I say currently because everything that's in the dashboard or everything that's actually available on this website, again, that is for free, is updated in real time. So as new information comes out, as new reports come out, as new exploits come out, this page will always be current as it's all updated in real time from open source intelligence. So really kind of a nice resource here to be able to see the full picture as it stands every time you visit it. Below the top line here, I do see my October risk analysis, which includes all these different attack types like spoofing, denial of service. I can also see the most impacted products from this report so far, including which ones are critical versus not critical. At the bottom, I can see a list of the critical vulnerabilities in this particular report. These are listed in criticality, looking at exploits first, and then CVSS score second. So as of right now in this report, again, we do have the two exploited vulnerabilities. Those are both listed here at the top, and then everything else going starting at CVSS 9.9 all the way down. If there was a CVSS 10, that would be here as well, obviously. But that said, that's a good look at the first page here. If I wanted to do a deeper drill down on any of the vulnerabilities, if I click on the card, first of all, I see here that I have the CVE ID, a bit of an overview of the actual vulnerability, including CVSS score, CWE information, and also if that exploit is available. But if I do a deeper dive, or if I want to get more information, I can click on this card, which will open up another free resource here, which is our CVE Insights card. A quick tour of the card here. I can see, first of all, there's an exploit available. Number two, I see CVE ID as well as also EUVD from the European Vulnerability Database. So we just added that recently, which is a nice feature. I can see CWE information listed here. On the right, I can see CVSS 7.8. Currently, no EPSS score on this particular vulnerability, but if we have that available, it'll be listed here. I also see high listed. When you'll really see this come into play is if there's a vulnerability that doesn't have a CVSS score. This is Feedly's AI estimate. In other words, everything that we've read on the vulnerability so far, we can make a pretty educated estimate using AI as to whether or not this will be considered like a high or critical vulnerability based on the information, which is really nice. Sometimes if there's a bit of a lag coming from MVD, you can at least get a jump on researching your vulnerabilities that way. I can also see track updates, track exploits, click the link to get to the actual MVD report, or I can also copy the information from this vulnerability to my clipboard. Track updates and track exploits are, I guess, a paid feature that we can kind of cover here in just a second as well. Below that, though, I see a summary using impact, exploitation, patch, and mitigation information about the vulnerability. I can see the vector vector info listed here from MVD. I also have a timeline, which is really handy. I can choose to highlight specific events. Like for instance, if I think that exploitation and the first article published are very interesting to me, I can save that and you can see that we've added some highlights, and that'll persist as I go from page to page as well. I can also see the articles. So if I wanted to see the Microsoft advisory here, I can click this link and get directly to the actual source that contains that specific article. It'll open it up for me in Feedly since I'm a Feedly user, but if you're not a Feedly user, it'll take you to the original reports. At the bottom here, I can see affected systems, so you can see the full list of which systems are being affected. You can also click the link to get to the report that links that system. Proof of exploitation that's mentioned, if you want to see more of those, looks like that is a paid feature as well. I can also see the patch information directly from Microsoft, so if you need to get to that patch info, you can do that here. And then also looking at CAPEC attack patterns. At the bottom, I see a nice cleaner breakout of that vector information showing the attack vector complexity and all that information here. I also see the individual categories that we've grouped those in, which you can click and see an overview of those categories too. In the middle though, and this is I think where it also gets to be pretty powerful, I can see the initial vendor advisory that published this vulnerability. And then I can also see references, so kind of more higher like threat intelligence report type articles written about the vulnerability. And then in news, I can also see all of the latest within like 7 minutes here, all the real-time information that's being written about these specific vulnerabilities. You can see those here as well. A few times I did mention some of the paid features that are available. Number one, there are paid features available for the Insights card to track updates and track these exploits, as well as also going back to the dashboard. We have a full view of the dashboard that you could also see some additional features in too. Some of those things, if I were to go and actually look up the vulnerability here, I can see flipping to dark mode, first of all, gotta love that. But secondly, a lot of the same information comes through. However, you can see we also have the ability to track or create an AI feed, which would monitor this vulnerability on a go-forward basis. Any updates, I would get notifications about that. I can also add it to my favorites to track it more in real time here. I can export a PDF of the vulnerability, or I can ask AI. So you could ask to generate like an executive summary of the vulnerability that you could share with your teams. So this is, again, accessing all the information that's in the Insights card, all the articles that are listed here, kind of bringing through a lot of this information with inline citations, which is really handy. Or I can also go to our vulnerability dashboard, and again, trying to create that view of the Microsoft security update. We got a few of these that are a little bit out of bounds, so we're currently updating this in real time. So a couple missing in the moment, but we should have that updated here in just a moment here. But I can also, with this particular view, I've got more sorting filters, so I can kind of add, if I want to sort by CVSS score or EPSS score, or if there's an exploit, I've got some filtration features here, which is nice. Or I can also use Ask AI on top of the dashboard, which will also include links to attribution for malware families or links of attribution to threat actors. None of that in this particular dashboard at the moment, but I can also add another prompt here. Like if Andy was here, which vulnerabilities would he say are the most interesting out of this batch? So Andy would, tell us to check out 59230 and 24990 and have a lot to say about that. So overall, again, this is a free resource that we do make available for the community to use. And I think that it can definitely help speed up some of your workflows. But with these free resources, you can discover, triage, analyze, and prioritize your high-risk CVEs faster with Feedly AI. So thanks for watching.